Alright, we out here this morning headed to Jonesboro, Georgia, but first, 60 gang gotta find some fuel up in this motherfucker. Now that Iran is talking peace talks, fuel is going down, so if you're invested in stocks and fuel in the petroleum industry, now is the time to cash out. Because if the ceasefire holds, the gas prices are going to come back down, and all the money that you gain interest on, gain dividends on in your stock portfolio, you should sell now before the stock of oil plummets back down to $2. So cash out, wait till it bottom back out, and then buy again. Stocks and bonds, you have to buy low, sell high. Right now, gas is high. You sell because he made the announcement that they're in talks, which means that more than likely there's going to be a ceasefire, and the gas prices are going to go back down. So get your money now before the value of the gas and oil go down. You lose your stock profit if you do not. So it's your boy 60 Gang. March 24th, pushing on into April. Man, this year is scooting on by. Gotta get some fuel, my boy. Gas looks like down here. Track comes up this morning at, the number is 362. So we go on down here and check out Citgo and Chevron right quick. 362. Always checking my gas numbers, man. I need some gas though. 362 versus 349. 20 whole cent. Look at that. Just by coming over here. Say 20 cents. Gotta watch it. This is Chevron, and let's see, Chevron. This Chevron don't even come up. This one here is 3334. Search 3334 Highway 78. Search. Look at these motherfuckers. Ice, ice, ice. Okay, so we go ahead and get some fuel here. Now that I know the gas is going down, I am not going to fill up. I'm just going to get what I get. It is green out here. God's sperm everywhere. Ejaculating over everything.
Shermichael reached his breaking point and went off on Ana Navarro's comments.
Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for TPS for Venezuelans, and Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for Nicaraguans and Cubans. No, I know you're not.
If you come to this country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
to take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They are not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said.
They
I
decided to
said
walk
there is
their
a
butts
lot
across
of
the
people
border. There is a big difference. There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said. That's exactly what I just said, Sir Michael. You can act indignant. That's exactly what I just said.
Let me just
share
Michael.
Other than the black
Anna and share Michael.
There are a lot of people from
Michael, I think you
countries
actually misheard what she. I think you misheard.
You think I would say I who have advocated for black people my entire life would say something like that?
Anna,
because you've advocated for black people, great, congratulations. Last time I checked, I'm black, you're not.
Okay, that's right. I'm Latino, and my people are being racially profiled.
It is.
And do I have to remind you the history of my people?
Sure.
Do you want to go there?
No, I don't.
Do you really want to go there?
Minutes left before we see what the heck's happened. So
I'll keep looking.
Yeah, and I'll check my my text and look down and see if I see you waving at me like, okay, we'll do it.
Okay. All right, sounds good, Barry.
Speaking of the nuts, look, here, let me give you. She's still talking. She's still
the freedom to vote at all. Americans won't just stand in line at a polling station to vote. They'll march to vote, even if it means going down to Selma, just as Granite Staters from St. Anselm's College did when they joined Dr. King's marchers.
Selma, Dr. King, do these people realize it's 2026? Are they really still fighting the civil rights movement? I mean, we're talking 1967, they're going to take my black card away from me because I don't even know when that even happened. And they're going back to Selma. Let me just tell you, lady, I don't know what her name is. You're insulting black people. You're conflating the civil rights movement to not being able to go pick up your damn ID. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So I just want to let you know, you're not going to miss anything. I'm monitoring it, but they're doing their own version of the filibuster right now to get to the point where they can just confirm Markwayne Mullin. So I've been on for 18 minutes. She's still talking. I have no idea how long this woman's going to be talking. So let's move on.
A little bit earlier, you have an interesting story. He was here yesterday waiting in these lines, and now he's back here today for an 8 p.m. flight. What happened?
Yeah, so I got in yesterday. I got in here 4 hours before my flight. Still missed it by about 2 hours. The pre-check stuff was all closed. The Sky Priority lines were all closed. So I just went home and thought I'll try it again tomorrow. So I showed up 8 hours early today. Extra early, and I kind of want to get my photographer to give our viewers a look at just how bad the line is right now. Richard, have you ever experienced anything like this at an airport? I travel a lot, and I have not seen it this bad. The line was actually wrapped around the airport a few times yesterday. I've never seen it quite this chaotic, but we're making it.
Raise your hand in chat if you've ever flown. Okay. I can see it. I can see all you with raising your hands. What in the hell causes this to happen? What changed? I mean, literally, you got like 20 lanes. Most of the time, they don't even have all the lanes open. So, are you telling me they've got one person checking or something? Is that what it is? So, by ICE going, they were able to get 2 people checking. Doesn't make any sense, but. That's what the line looked like this afternoon. Just remember that, okay? That it was, all the way across, filled up around the building and everything else. Everybody's pretty calm for the most part, so I think folks are patient.
Yes, good spirits despite what's going on here. And this is, of course, all happening as TSA workers are getting $0 paychecks. ICE agents are here in Atlanta today helping out, just trying to alleviate this. What are your thoughts on that?
If they can help speed things up, why not? I kind of wish they would put the mask down, but otherwise I think that everybody can use the help. So as long as they can help out, get these lines to move a little bit faster, everybody's happy.
What mask? I didn't see one single person on any video that I saw at any airport that had a mask. Maybe they had them on early. I don't know, but I didn't see anybody with a mask on.
Thank you so much for your time, Richard. Good luck with your travel experience. So a little bit about how long you've been waiting in line and what you think about all of this.
We have been in line since 5:30 this morning. We drove up to Atlanta from South Georgia. We left about 3 o'clock this morning. Congress needs to get to work, get it done. The American people don't deserve this. TSA needs to get paid. This is ridiculous.
And, of course, this is all happening because, as you just mentioned, TSA workers, they're getting $0 paychecks right now. And that's part of the reason why that ICE agents are now here helping them out, trying to make these lines shorter.
I don't know what's wrong with the girl behind her. I don't know if that's her granddaughter, but she's cracking up.
What do you think about that?
I'm glad to see him here.
Glad to see him. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much. We hope you make your flight.
And so what's happening today in America that should outrage everybody? He's taking this very same agency that has been bursting into our schools, into our churches, into our hospitals,
and killing everybody,
into our courts, and even into the homes of Americans. He's taking that agency that is reckless and out of control and bringing them to our airports.
So one of the things that Democrats have been saying is that if you have ICE in the airports, they're going to kill you, which is insane. And now he's like, this is obviously Cory Booker, senator from New Jersey. who's now saying that this rogue agency is in here. They're going to be doing all kinds of crazy things. Meanwhile, if he turned around, he can see they're not doing crazy things.
The lie that somehow this is going to help deal with the long lines that he created in the first place. This is an outrage. We should not have an agency that America doesn't trust.
Obviously, you've been drinking your own Kool-Aid or sniffing your own supply. Americans overwhelmingly trust ICE. Americans overwhelmingly want ICE in the airports. These people spew stuff because nobody challenges them on what they say. And so he's in, by the way, when's the last time you set up a podium in an airport? But anyway, he's got a podium in the airport, having some sort of press conference there, and he's telling people we shouldn't have this agency that people don't trust.
An agency that literally has seen violence against Americans, an agency that is tearing away American families, tearing apart American families, and arresting and detaining Americans.
That is another frequent refrain they just keep saying. Who are these Americans that ICE just keeps ripping apart, as they say? See, the problem the Democrats, like I've said, this whole show tonight is they don't have anything to say. That's why there's nobody around them. Nobody cares. Hey, man, I got to take a flight. I got to go stand in this line because your ass ain't doing your job. And because you're not doing your job, I'm here with 2,000 people who can't get on their plane. Do something. But President Trump trumped you. Now he's doing something.
Violating due process rights and civil rights.
ICE at the airport, shall we? I don't know. Can you run the ICE lines or the lines of TSA at all of the airports? We have some video of this. It's pretty staggering. Some of the lines were up to 2 and 3 hours long. It is nuts. What was the longest?
I've read anywhere between 5 to 6.
Where? Atlanta?
I think New York City. Insiders tell me if I'm wrong.
I think that it's different than what I wrote or what I read. I'm not sure, but
see, if Glenn was smart, he would have called SD and he would have had someone who knows what they're talking about instead of having this nut job there. But anyway, we got SB. Whoever he has with makeup on, she's not there for the same purpose. SD's here for a functional purpose. But in any event, they're talking about the same thing everybody else is talking about. The long lines. That's what I want you to focus on, is how long these lines were earlier this afternoon and earlier this morning.
You read. But I will tell you, it's horrible in some places. And the president has said, we're going to get ICE out there. Well, somebody's got to do the job. Who do you want? Well, now people are saying, oh, well, that's just going to make people, illegals afraid to go into the airports.
What are they doing there anyway?
I can't help you with that,
That's how I feel.
What are they
If
doing
the mere presence of law enforcement makes you turn around and go back to wherever you came from, then it's working. It's working as planned. And if you're stupid enough to be a newcomer, and you show up there, rolling the dice, hoping they won't catch you, and then you get caught, and they start dragging you out, and you start screaming, that's on you. So as this day progressed, one of the things I don't know if you saw, but the crowd started slimming. And like President Trump has said all along, we just needed a new president. Well, he solved the other part. He just needed ICE there. He just needed more law enforcement. How did the crowd just start slimming? Everybody's been talking about this for 2 or 3 weeks. One day, literally one day, they shrank. We called it.
ICE would be not in the airport. ICE would be looking for the really bad guys who have stabbed people and killed people and raped children. But the left, the Democrats, have shut down TSA. So we got to have somebody do it. Who do you want to do it? I prefer TSA. So the president is saying we should have ICE do it.
All right, so here was idea, hypothetical maybe. No, not hypothetical. I think it's more real than hypothetical. My hypothesis is that the Democrats were playing chess and they had not many moves on the board. And I think the Democrats said to themselves, you know what we can do? Let's shut down air travel. And other people in the room is, well, we can't really do that. We can't stop air travel. Here's an ingenious idea. We'll not fund ICE. It'll cause so many different problems. And effectively, it will shut down travel in arguably one of the biggest travel times of the season. You've got March Madness, you have Easter coming up, Mother's Day, all kinds of things getting ready to happen or are happening. And if they said we can screw with this enough that it'll really affect air travel to the point where it might shut it down, the Democrats are okay with that. They would have no problem if all the airports got shut down. And so this is probably just a little bit of the, as Glenn's going to say, the chaos that they wanted.
Left is saying, well, that's going to cause so many problems because of the, okay, well, you're having a hard time evoking sympathy in me on this one for a myriad of reasons. You want to solve it? Fund the TSA. Same time, Elon Musk comes out, and Elon Musk says, I'll pay the TSA. Now, here's a guy who's the richest guy on Earth. He could pay TSA all day long and never feel it. It's like you going to, buy a milkshake at McDonald's. Not that big of a deal. Except this would be healthy than McDonald's. Anyway, why isn't he doing it? You want to know why? Because he can't just pay TSA. It's got to go to the Treasury. And then from the Treasury to be allocated to the TSA, Congress has to vote on it to be allocated.
There you go. And there it is right there. Even though there was somebody willing to cut a check to pay for every single one of these people, including their back pay, and all it would have taken is for Congress to say, yeah, I approve that. It's no big deal. No sweat up our back. What's he want in return? He wants it, no interest. Just pay me back when you turn the faucet back on. Sounds reasonable. See, but reasonable isn't in the vocabulary of most Democrats. Reasonable is offensive to most Democrats, especially when your objective is to make Americans hurt. And so they didn't even talk about Elon Musk tendering that offer. Most of the CNNs and MSNBCs of the world didn't even discuss it. They didn't want people to even know that getting paid was an option. Why? Because if people got paid, they lose leverage. If they lose leverage, they can't try to inflict pain. It's just one big round-robin screwball that they're trying to do to America. And so here's this guy with nearly $1 trillion. Just tell me, I'll write the check. No. Didn't respond to him. But if he had not paid his taxes, or if he doesn't pay his taxes on April 15th, they're going to be screaming bloody murder. Well, I'm willing to give you a whole bunch more so you can pay these people. No. So again, as I premised this entire show, what do you people want? Why is it you don't want good? Why do you prefer chaos? That's a question people should be asking these people.
This is how screwed up our system is. This is what everybody hates about government. There are times when you are when your ox is in the mire and you got to get it out. And all these rules and regulations that stop you from doing the right thing. The right thing is to refund TSA. Get them back working at the airport and fully fund them. The wrong thing is to keep taking and saying, oh, we're not going to pay you. And then we're going to pay you for a while. And then we're not going to pay you again. Then we're going to pay you for a while. You never really know. It's a really stable environment.
You know what's really bad too? And I think I've realized this since I've been doing a political show, why everything goes on C-SPAN. Because if what was going on in the Senate right now was televised on national television, and people who haven't been paid, people who are losing their jobs and their ability to do different things because Congress isn't getting anything done. If this was being publicized and shown on national TV right now, prime time, 8 p.m., if you saw this, if people could sit back in their living room, what's that? Oh, that's the Senate. What are they doing?
Nothing.
Oh, no, because nobody's there. Can you imagine? You guys are news junkies like me, so you've seen this. Can you imagine if Americans turned on, we're going to watch Fox with, what's this thing? The Senate. Let's turn on the Senate. They're hard at work, making their $175,000 a year, working on, getting laws passed, getting people confirmed. Do you click on the channel?
Nobody there.
And see that. This is live. This is 100% live right now on the floor of the Senate as they're waiting to try and confirm Markwayne Mullin.
Mr. President,
I recognize the senator from Oklahoma.
is the Senate currently in the quorum call?
Yes, it is.
I'd ask the unanimous consent to set aside.
Let's
Without
listen
objection.
in a little bit here.
Mr. President, in just a few moments, this body will vote for the next Secretary of Homeland Security. It happens to be a friend of mine. His name is Markwayne Mullin. Markwayne Mullin's the pride of Westville, Oklahoma, which ironically enough is the easternmost town in our state. On a normal day, there are more people inside the United States Capitol than there are in Westville, all of Westville, Oklahoma. But it's a bunch of really nice folks that work really hard. And Markwayne Mullin has risen from being a country boy on a cow-calf operation with his dad, running a very small plumbing company, to now being nominated and tonight being confirmed as our next Secretary of Homeland Security. Graduated from Stillwell High School, but the most important thing wasn't his graduation from Stillwell High School, it's the girl that he met in the 3rd grade. In the 3rd grade, he fell in love with Christy, and they waited all the way until she was 18 and he was 19 before they got married. And now decades later, and 6 children later, that proud family will now be the lead family to be able to serve to keep every family safe in the country. The responsibility at Homeland Security is dramatic. There's 250,000 people, federal employees, that work for the Department of Homeland Security. It's a massive operation and is incredibly important to our country.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. You caught me snoozing. If this was on national television right now, people would be throwing things at the screen. People would be looking at this and go, what the hell am I watching? You're talking about this guy, he came from a little town, he got married, they got kids, and it's so awesome that he's from this little town in Oklahoma. Why can't y'all just go in there and vote? Why do you have to have all the preamble? I think they should preempt every network and make people watch this stuff. What do you think would happen in our country if right now at 7:36 people are eating dinner or sitting down with their tray tables and they're getting ready to turn on Jeopardy or something before the 8 o'clock hour comes on, and you got to watch this?
He has been my friend that we've worked alongside by side on a lot of issues. I will never forget, multiple years ago, my wife, Markwayne, and his wife, Christy, the 4 of us sitting down for a dinner in a quiet place, in a booth in the middle of a restaurant, just to talk. Because Markwayne was thinking about saying, I'm done with all of this chaos that's in Congress. And he was actually praying through what to do next. And it was over that dinner that the 4 of us just talked and visited prayed together, and he determined I'm going to stay at it because there's more work to be done. And I'm glad he did. In the days ahead, the nation will be glad that he did, because I think he'll make a fantastic Secretary of Homeland Security. As we approach this moment, I can't help but also note a challenge that he's going to walk into on day one. Because when he walks in tomorrow morning into a new office, into a new role, being sworn in, there will not be funding for the people around him. The staff that will be there working alongside of him won't have been paid for more than a month. And this is not an anomaly for them. As of this week, half of the fiscal year Homeland Security.
See, we all know this. We all know TSA is not getting paid. Everybody in line at the airport knows TSA isn't getting paid. Why are you standing there talking? It should be a 20-minute meeting. All right, raise your hand, hit the button, whatever it is. He's confirmed. Get him over to the White House or whoever's going to Pam Bondi's office and put his hand on the Bible and swear him in and get to work. Not enough people understand how the sausage is made here, but worse, not enough people care. You can see it in the chat. Oh man, this is boring. Just do it. Exactly. Something is broken in our government where this kind of stuff happens on both sides. You saw the crazy liberal. Now you got a Republican just standing up there and talking. Enough. Just damn vote. You know he's going to get confirmed. Vote. But see, common people who aren't news junkies, don't see how this goes. So let me continue. We'll come back when they actually start voting. Damn these people.
Causing chaos in all of these people's lives. That's wrong. That's wrong. Elon Musk is trying to do the right thing. System is saying, no, you can't. That's how screwed up our system is. My dad said, you know how truth, you can tell truth. Truth is like rain. It just falls straight down. Water, just straight down. And when it bends, when it curves, it's because there's something impeding it. Otherwise, it would just keep running straight, but there's some obstacle in the way. And he's like, it's those obstacles. Whenever you see things bend, that's when you look and go, okay, there's something not true here. There's an obstacle in the way. Pay the TSA.
The Democrats. What Glenn's dad just described is the Democrats. What Glenn's dad just described are these senators. They're in the way. They're blowing things out down here. If you've ever been in a hurricane and you see it rain sideways. See, Glenn was talking about rain that comes this way. Now that he lives down here in South Florida, he's going to find out come August and September when you start seeing it rain like this. I swear. I never experienced it until I moved into South Florida. Did I see rain go sideways for an hour or two or a day? Like, this is really weird. How's the rain going this way? Because something blew it this way. A big wind somewhere and blew it. But the problem, or not the problem, the good part about rain, as Glenn's dad told him, it keeps moving. Doesn't stop. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what political party you are in. It just keeps going until it doesn't want to rain anymore. These fools, especially the Democrats, are trying to stop it from raining. I love the analogy from his dad, but that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing a political party who I still believe are in their agonal breathing stage because they've got nothing. And so they're trying to stop even the rain at this point. As Glenn was talking, he was using a metaphor for truth. Forget truth. They don't even want discussion. You can't have truth if you're not willing to even discuss. They don't want to discuss anything. So here we are with a government that is impeding truth.
Pay them. Can't. What's the obstacle? Politics. Okay. Elon Musk steps to the plate and says there's absolute chaos. What's the straight way? Pay them. Can't. What's the obstacle? The system. The system would work, but it can't because people are obstructing it. I think Elon Musk, I heard that and I thought that you know, as somebody who, you know, at least is a candidate for future Antichrist, he is a really good guy. I like him.
You know, the whole, not analogy, but the story he's telling about Elon Musk is the wrench. Well, you know, if you ever call a plumber, you need some work done and, you know, something has to turn that bolt. The bolt's going to stay just as it is. It has no desire to move. If you've ever had the unfortunateness to change a tire, you peel off the hubcap and the bolts just look at you. There's no desire. There's nothing that's going to require that bolt to just, well, hey, spin off. I got to change the tire. You got to put this big thing, this lug wrench, and you got to crank it. Unless you got one of those things that they have in garages. But otherwise, if you do it manually, you got to do the work to make it turn. Barry, what the hell are you talking about? These people in Congress need to do the work to make things turn. They choose, specifically the Democrats, not to. They're perfectly fine if the country goes to pot. They don't care if it doesn't matter. We're not going to use the Elon wrench. We hate the wrenches that Trump is using. Well, what wrenches are you going to use? None. We're just going to get in the way. Well, actually, no, they do have one wrench. They're using the judiciary. The judiciary to me is like, if I use that same metaphor of trying to get the tire off, they're the ones, the next door neighbor who took the wrench out of your car. So when you got a flat tire, you're like, I can't do anything. Oh, you don't have it. Yeah, I took the wrench. Our government's broken. That's the moral of the story. Our government is not, however, irreparably broken. That's where President Trump comes in. President Trump comes in because he's not coming in with a bar to pop the lug nut. He's coming to basically rip the tire off the axle and replace it. This tire, nope, we can't use this anymore. We need something better. And so I am here, after everything they did to me, to make sure that we can make this tire run. That's the problem right now. There are people on the right and people on the left who don't want us to be moving all in the same direction efficiently. You got nearly a trillionaire like Elon Musk. You got other people like Scott Bessent, people who know, hey, I know how to fix this tire. I know how we can do it better. And the Democrats, they're trying to put a square tire on it to inhibit your ability to move forward. That's what we have to recognize, because otherwise we just keep looking at this stuff. And that's not progress. That's not anything that this country needs right now, and that's why these people hate Donald Trump. They a bunch of old people walking around. Here's Dick Durbin, barely can stand up, leaning on the desk. Seems like he doesn't even know where to go. Wondering what's he gonna do next. Here comes Tim Kaine. He walks in. What are y'all doing? And you know from watching President Trump operate, that's not how he operates. He's like, let's get it done. We need to do stuff. If you're not doing something, I shouldn't be paying you. Which goes completely contrary to everything you're seeing. You're paying every one of those people in there. Every single one of those people you're paying for. If that was your company, right now, if this was your company, which it is, which one of these people would stay? Be honest. Which one of these people would you like, hey, you're doing a good job, I'm going to promote you? Well, there's 100 senators, and I'm looking at 3. The other 97 ain't even there. You don't keep people like that. And the Democrats and the Republicans seem to be okay with this being how it is. So let's continue.
And he's just trying to do the right thing. And he keeps getting hammered over and over and over again. He's living the life of the billionaire that wouldn't we all like to be? Wouldn't we want to be that guy? If we were going to be a billionaire, do you want to be Bezos or do you want to be Elon Musk? Do you want to be any of these billionaires or do you want to be Elon Musk?
I'd be okay with being either one of them. But yeah, what you do it would be different. So I guess he's saying Elon Musk at least wants to get stuff done. I think Bezos wants to get stuff done as well in his own way. He's not as prolific somebody who does something for the general public as Elon is. But in any event, these are people who built huge businesses like Donald Trump, have been extremely successful with a plethora of different businesses, large employees, facilities. And yeah, we got that. And the problem is not enough people look at this and go, there's something wrong here. And we're stuck with it. We are absolutely stuck with this progress or lack thereof. There's nothing we can do about that except for what President Trump is doing. Burn it down. And that's what he's going to be doing, and that's what they're terrified of. Because all of a sudden, overnight...
What have you been seeing them doing?
Yep. Finally, we can take a deep breath here. The numbers have dropped off. The lines are getting shorter. I think the average wait time now is under 40 minutes. So if you have a flight to catch today, it's a good time to come to Hartsfield-Jackson International.
How? Wait a second. It is only 7:50 on Monday. And all weeks have gone by when it's like, oh my God, and the wait time is 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Oh my God, we can't wait. Well, it's like 40 minutes in one of the biggest airports in the country. It's down to 40 minutes. How? How did it happen? Nobody in the news wants to talk about that. I talked about it the other day. I said, wait, watch. Watch how fast it goes down. It was obviously AstroTurf. It wasn't real. It was made to have square wheels. It was made not to be able to have anybody crank the bolt off. Let's throw up an impediment. Let's make it horrible so that it's unusable, where everybody is just going to be standing around and nobody, and all of a sudden, overnight, what? How did it happen? Trump made it happen. Every time they get in his way, he does something and just completely turns it on them. Hey, listen, I'm going to go to Venezuela, going to get Maduro, we're going to have all this oil. You can't do that. Too late. I already did it. Oh my God, we got to get rid of him. He's doing too much good stuff. I'm going to take Cuba. You can't do that. It's coming. Oh, you can't go to Iran and stop the mullahs and all this stuff. It's coming. All the norms that they have worked forever to put up as blockades on America, he's doing it in basically light speed. And that's what they don't like, and that's why so many people are terrified of what's happening. That's why you can't even look at things and go, what's happening next with the election? After what I show you, is it the next story? No, I got another story to show you before that. In terms of what's happening just today, you can't possibly chart the journey going to November. You can't do it. There are so many variables happening by the day that I'm not sure if people are paying attention to. It's absolutely stunning how fast this stuff is all moving. Crazy. I mean, I've never seen it, and I'm going to venture to say you guys haven't seen it in your lifetime. I'm going to cut to SV in a second, SV, so I'll be right there to you. But let me talk to you about the next segment sponsor, and that's Chapter. As you guys know, Medicare is quite confusing, and me now being sick.
Right, and do all these things, but you don't actually play it out in your minds and have strategy for the consequences that may not be good.
Let me answer the question for everybody in America. The answer, yes. It's good that the terrorist regime, their military has been, and capabilities have been degraded radically. The question, Mike, though, is political. It's the political question. No. What is the political impact? What's the impact in the Straits? What's the impact in the region?
Joe, in all due respect, if you ask the American people, if you have the choice of degrading the military structure in Iran, but having gasoline be $6 a gallon, and our economy falling into a deep recession where...
This was this morning. He was saying this hyperbole this morning as oil prices plummeted. This is what his answer was. The economy is going into the toilet. What are you talking about? Everything is gaslighting with the Democrats. Again, Chucky, he tried to ask you, what's the good of this? Is there no good ever? Yeah, that's the answer. There's nothing good Trump can ever do.
Millions lose their job. What do you think of
Senator, you're not listening to me. That's the political side.
No, it's not.
You know it's bad when you have to get chastised by Joe Scarborough. Senator, you're not listening. That's it. They don't listen to the American people, even the ones who are somewhat on their side. They don't have the ability to reason because there is nothing that they want that Donald Trump is doing. Nothing. And so they're convincing an entire group of people, the entire swath of Americans and non-Americans, that everything Trump does is bad. And when you come from that perspective, you have to realize these people are never coming back. That's another thing you have to understand. So if they're never coming back and they don't want what's good for America, it becomes a very clear contrast at this point.
Political. Okay. It's a consequence, just like Mika said.
All right, why don't we talk about the Yankees, because you're not following me here.
Let's just talk about the Yankees. That's bad. You guys know how left-slanted, left-leaning MSNBC is. You guys know what Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, whatever her name is, how bad they've been towards the left. And you've got them waving the white flag going, these people are morons. Well, let's just talk about the Yankees in the time we have left, because you're not making any sense. If you're insulting people like Scarborough and Mika, what do you think you're doing to most of America? With this no birth certificate crap, this hold up people at TSA, and nothing is going right in Iran. Even people who have some brains and a little bit of integrity are going, there's nothing we can do here.
With all due respect.
I just don't agree with you.
No, what you don't understand me. There's a big difference. I would say that most Americans would say it's a good thing that it's degraded. Would they agree that we should have gone to war, Mike? I think most Americans, you look at the polls, they don't want this war.
Okay.
They don't want this war, but there is, it's something that I think the Democrats should be, I think it's something, with all due respect, Democrats should be clear about. Iran has tried to kill Americans since 1979. Okay. Hold on. Two things can be true at once. It can be good that Iran's killing machine has been degraded. At the same time, the consequences may outweigh the good that come from that.
Okay,
it's okay to say
I don't disagree with you. You know, the fact that the leader Khamenei is gone, no one regrets that. The fact that Iran has less ability to create military.
He's searching for help. He's looking this way. Somebody come here, throw me a lifeline. I'm underwater. I don't know what to do. You put me in a box. Everybody can see I'm in a box. You've laid it out so well at this point. I have to back off my original conviction to say, oh yeah, I agree. It made him choke on it. That Trump has done something right. Yes, they can be mutually exclusive. You can be against the entire action, but you can't be against the fact that what he's done has been successful. You can be on the right and have that, but you can't say what he has done hasn't been successful.
Trouble is no one disputes that. But you have to look, I don't think it's political, to be very honest with you. It's the consequences, the military, the geopolitical, the economic consequences.
I'm saying geopolitical.
You gotta let me finish.
You just said what I was saying, the geopolitical consequences.
Right, it's not just the economic consequences. Right. Again, let me ask the question again. If you ask the American people, and you had the package together, because we don't know how bad it's going to get, but we know it's pretty bad now. I think most of them would have said, no, we shouldn't have gone to war. And by the way,
most of them have said that.
Yeah, we shouldn't have gone to war.
Right.
And
they're making it up. You've seen the polls, whether you believe in polls or not. You know your friends, your family, your circle of people you're around. We all know what would have happened. Chuck is Jewish. He should know what would happen. You find out that they launched a missile into Diego Garcia, which was way further away than anybody ever thought, even though Trump said they got it. You didn't listen to that. I see some of the comments in the chat, and people are like, I'm losing brain cells listening to these people. It could be worse. You could be listening to those people.
Mr. Kramer.
Oh, we're actually getting a vote now.
Aye, Mr. Hoven.
Right,
Mr. Hoven.
Let's listen
Aye.
in. And as soon as I switched, she stopped taking a vote. So we're getting close. He's going to be confirmed here any moment here. But in any event, what you're seeing is the Democrats have nothing in their arsenal, no arrows in the quiver. There's nothing there. And so as I was saying, I'm seeing in the chat where people are like, I'm losing brain cells. The reason I'm showing this is to basically underscore what I've been saying. There's nothing there. There's the whole time he's talking to Joe. Hey, Joe, I'd like to talk to you about a plan we have. Joe, I'd like to talk to you about an initiative we have. Here's what we think can work. Nothing. And so when you see this kind of flailing, then you understand, don't listen to people who say we're going to lose the midterms, because they got nothing at all.
I'll tell you this, if they would have done it right, if they would have voted, if the Republicans would have voted with us on the War Powers Act, all these questions would have been asked ahead of time.
Right.
Instead of Donald Trump's willy-nilly, one day yes, one day no, this is our reason, that is our reason. Right. So I don't think the question can be taken in just one slice.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a moron. Take that slice. Understand that insanity. All right, so they're voting right now. We can check into the romper room here.
Mr. Booker, no. Mr. Schumer,
Yeah.
no.
So far, no surprises. as they take their time, just walking in as they choose. I knew this was going to be this way. That's why I wanted to make sure I had a whole bunch of other content for you, because, again, it's like paint drying as we get closer. They don't have the vote on the screen, but he's going to pass. So just the end hasn't happened, but we all know how it ends, I guess I would say, in that regard. But I will keep cutting back to it. I'm going to start another segment. So before I start this next segment, let me tell you about this segment sponsor. Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? Or have you filed every year, but you still keep owing? Did you retire and suddenly get hit with a tax bill you didn't expect? Are you a business owner with messy books and a balance you can't afford? Maybe you pulled money from your 401k or your IRA early, and now the IRS wants its share. However your tax issue started, the outcome is usually the same. Your balance is not going down at all. Penalties grow, interest compounds, and many of you are about to owe again for this upcoming tax year in 2 months. Actually, a couple weeks. With no plan in place, that's what's going to happen. Stop what you're doing and call Tax Network USA. The IRS isn't waiting. The IRS is enforcing collections through wage garnishments, bank levies, and property seizures. They can even file for you without your consent. This is where Tax Network USA comes in. With over 15 years in
day. Sandra will know what the rest of the court thinks to, end of the term, we think, probably late June by the time we get this decision.
Got it. All right. Thank you for the update, Shannon. Thank you.
All right. So she says late June. So we're just going along here, doing our business. It's March. It's about soon to be April, May, and they're still doing these polls saying, the midterms are bad. Trump tanked it. MAGA's falling apart.